We have a third speaker in this session, Muhammad Suliman Al-Shazali. He will give the final talk of the conference. Muhammad Suliman Al-Shazali is a novelist and poet, and will say a few words about Tayeb Salih, after which we can have general questions for the panelists.
The world that is was like brief, like the blinking of an eyelid. It made up of countless probabilities. Although Adam and Eve have just fallen from paradise. The narrator. Tayeb Salih was kind to me when I was very much younger. The relationship, I could say, was like that of Abu Tamam and Al-Buhtri. Al-Buhtri said, by Allah, without him, I might not earn my bread. And that was the case with me. After graduating, I worked for Burger King, Piccadilly Square, France. And there was a symposium organized by Rajil Qusaydi, ambassador, so the ambassador to London, and an attractive character, and was also a good poet. And he was a friend of Tayeb Salih. To attend that symposium, I asked my manager to give me a day off. I used to work the night shifts. At the time, my manager was at the till counting the coins and the paper notes. He didn't look at me, but stammered. If you do not come tomorrow, consider yourself fired. To which I replied, Peter, consider being fired right now. Settle my account, please. He did. After the symposium, I participated in it and compared Tayeb Salih and Abu Nawas in some respect as intellectual within intelligentsia at that time. And we didn't like that, actually. After that, they asked to meet me. I met him by an appointment, Sheikh Muhammad Al-Hassan Ahmed, the prominent journalist. We talked at length that evening about literature. Eventually, my bachelor degree, the fourth-year thesis, focused on him, Singo, Tawfiq al-Hakim, and Muhammad got impressed. And I was at the time in France, Poitiers University. And I benefited a lot from the Libération, the special edition on writing. Pourquoi écrivez-vous? Pourquoi écrivez-vous? Why do you write, I think? Why do you write? Tayeb was among 400 writers who answered that question. He said, pour s'évader la vie. Pour s'évader la vie, I think, to escape from life. That was interesting. During our late night conversation, engulfed by smoking and smoke, Tayeb was a heavy smoker. Heavy smoker. He smoked silk always. Abruptly, all of a sudden, he asked me, "You didn't go with them. Why?" I didn't understand. Then he completed, "I was behind you when that bunch of female critics, beautiful one, asked you, you are a student, aren't you? Oxford or Cambridge?" To which I replied, "Neither Oxford nor Cambridge. I clean tables, floors, gents and ladies, toilet. I work for Piccadilly Square Burger King." Nice. He said that, he said, overheard that, and he loved extinguishing the cigarette in the ashtray. He said, "You could have chosen any of those highly revered universities. Who will go after you?" You could have spent an intimate warm night with one of them. I think, he said, "you do not understand the language of women." Our meeting was just few months after Walt Schwinker awarded Nobel Prize in Literature. I asked him what is his take, or what was his take on Schwinker. He looked at me after a long silence, then said, "Schwinker is a flamboyant boy." So that was the Schwinker is a flamboyant boy. Actually, he was a fan of Chinua Achebe. I think there is a similarity between Things Fall Apart and Then Wedding. The similarity, I think, is in the simplicity. Then he asked me, "Unemployed or where?" Before completing the question, I answered, "I worked for Burger King till yesterday. They fired me because I asked for a day off to attend your symposium on therapy." He laughed and murmured, "I overheard that during your innocent, rather odd conversation with those pretty ladies." The following day, I had been hired, worked as a press secretary, and I served the culture attaché. So the culture attaché office adjoining Belgrave Square, which is considered contrast to the most aristocratic, I think, area. Thereafter, we developed a close, intimate, fruitful friendship. He was like a master. We collected together a great deal of Salah Ahmed Ibrahim poetry. With us was Fathi Muhammad Osman, sitting over there, later. and Osman Wali Allah. Osman was a member. We were four, yeah. Okay. Yeah. The collection session eventually took place at Fatma Ahmed Ibrahim's flat overlooking the Lord's Cricket Stadium at the first part of St. John's Wood. My time with Tayeb Salih revolved always, probably all through, around and on poetry, Arabic poetry. Used to love the Rumma, the difficult one, but the beautiful one, similar to the pre-Islamic poetry. We talk a lot about the system and nomenclature invented by Al-Khalil ibn Ahmed Al-Farahidi, the Arab. He used to love al-Basit. مستفعل فاعل مستفعل فاعل. An example is ريم على القاعد بين الباني والعلمي أحلت كدمي في الحجر الحرام. It is a powerful one, al-Basit, the simple or the simplest. Oh, Al-Hariri and Ibn Khallikan had noticed that Al-Khalil ibn Ahmed had noted the different rhythm produced by the hammering of the copper workshops in the Basra Bazaar. Al-Basra founded by Utbah ibn Ghazwan 14 years after the Hijrah during the reign of Umar ibn Khattab. Actually, both Al-Kufa followed in the year 17 after the Hijrah, and Baghdad was 145 during the reign of Abi Ja'far al-Mansur, the real founder. He founded Baghdad. But the first one is before the Basra was Al-Hira, well known, and Al-Basra is the home of Abi Amr ibn al-Ala, which he founded the grammar school. There are, as you know, two schools, Al-Kufa school, Sibawayh, and Abi Amr ibn al-Ala, and he was the one who taught Al-Asma'. That's a long story. Now, reason of migration to the north. There is a man for you. I am no Othello. Othello was alive. Within my breast was a hard, cold feeling that it had been fathered in a rock. The moment is charged with probabilities, and my curiosity is boundless. Behind me was spectacular success at school. My mind was like a sharp knife, cutting with school effectiveness. I was called as a field of ice. Nothing in the world could shake me. Professor Maxwell Foster Keen, his picture, and then in the quote, he was a lawyer, but he said, "You are a person quite devoid of fun. You are a person quite devoid of fun. Despite your academic prowess, you are a stupid man. You squandered the noblest gift that God has bestowed upon people, the gift of love." This is okay. 5 minutes. The silent prayer. He whetted my imagination in an extraordinary manner. I remained as lifeless as he, ashes. I had learned to be eloquent in English through perseverance, and the train carried me to Victoria Station and the world of Jane Morris. When I grasped her, it was like grasping at clouds. When I grasped her, it was like grasping at clouds. Like betting a shooting star. Like betting a shooting star. It's very beautiful. Like a mountain, the back of a Russian military march. Like a boat heading towards the rabbits. Like a mirror and a coal running in harmony side by side. The girls I met were killed by care of a deadly disease that assailed them 1,000 years ago. He's speaking about Ahmed and the other girls. The silent rain, my head teems with a mysterious childishness. My head teems with a mysterious childishness. The silent rain. The waning moon's talon. It's good. It's very beautiful. The waning moon's talon, I speak clear. You look in the morning, this is a new image, like it never written like that. The waning moon's talon, I speak clear. Almost said to him, "What a devil you are! What a devil you are!" Replied, "I seek not glory, for the like of me do not seek glory. This world fill me with annoyance. I seek no glory, for the like of me do not seek glory." This
I'm
well,
going to stop this. Who's this mobile?
There's someone's
Somebody in this house.
okay. The world in that instant was as brief as the blinking of an eyelid. It made up of countless probabilities as though Adam and Eve had just fallen from paradise. The silence reigned again. Can't you ever forget your intellect? Can't you ever forget your intellect? I am sorrow that yearns for the nose and the eyes on a tooth strings. I shall play as a tooth string. I shall play as I wish. For every occasion, I pose the appropriate garb. The string of the bow is drawn taut, and the arrow must needs shoot forward. My friend Bishara asked me to say this in Arabic. 30 عام وأشجار الصفصاف تبيض وتخضر وتصفر في الحدائق وطير الوغواغ يغني للربيع كل عام. المطابع تصدر آلاف الكتب في الفن والفكر، ومسرحيات برنارد شو تمثل في الرويال هول والهي ماركت. كانت إتستو تورد بالشعر، ومسرح البرنس اوف ويلز يفيض بالقلق والشباب. البحر في مده وجزره في بورس وبرايتون. 30 عام وأنا في كل هذا لا يهمني إلا ما يملأ فراشي كل ليلة. At the beginning, there's a good. I used to recite this Tayeb when we sit together. وأرخيت أذني للريح. I listened to the first page or the second. وأرخيت أذني للريح. ذاك لعمري صوت أعرفه. له في بلدنا وشوشة حلوة. صوت الريح وهي تمر بالنخل غيره وهي تمر بحقول القمح. ونظرت خلال النافذة إلى النخلة المزروعة في فناء دارنا، فشعرت أن الحياة لا تزال بخير. أنظر إلى جذعها القوي المعتدل، وإلى عروقها الضاربة في الأرض، وإلى الجريد الأخضر المتهدر فوق هامتها، فأشعر بالطمأنينة. أشعر أنني لست ريشة في مهب الريح، لكنني مثل هذه النخلة، مخلوق له أصل، له جذور، له هدف. Thank you very much indeed.
So I will give the last word to Ahmed, so to conclude today's very successful conference.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for participating with very interesting, as you may have gathered, organized, and some of the very scholarly, majority of scholarly work on the Tayeb Salih. We hope that whether we put them on the website or we print them, and that depends really on financial situation, whether we got a sponsor to publish these very interesting papers. But thank you very much indeed. And we thank, and I put your hands to our speaker who did really marvelous work today. Thank you.